let's do it. Howdy, folks. James at rexem.com.au, and welcome to another podcast. Hello, Gary, the crazy Gandalf wizard. How are you?
Yeah, good. Time to play podcast again. See who we upset this time.
Oh, look, there's this. Is there anyone that we've forgotten to upset? Like, put your hand up now. By the way, do you notice I'm not wearing an eye patch from our last video? I'm alive and kicking, much to probably the dismay of many. But I did wake up the next day after shooting that 50-50 mix of 06H and 08.
Not that we recommend it, but it worked.
It did. And actually, interestingly, I lost a few feet per second on the same load. Lost a little bit. It did shoot good, though. It shot great. Like, it's fine. I'll use it up. I'll use it for hunting, and it'll be good.
Yeah, waste not, want not.
Especially in this day and age. So, we got a bit on today. Have you got any interesting stories that you want to open up with over the last... I think it's been almost 2 weeks since a podcast. Have you been up to much?
No. Rain kept me away from the range for the last few weeks, so I haven't been out. Still waiting on the new barrel, so I'm sort of getting excited about that still, and just chipping away, just waiting, playing the waiting game.
Playing the waiting game, yeah. Well, with the cyclone and the rain bombs and all, well, let's say the cyclone and the rain bombs and stuff, it's been hard to get out there and have fun, but I did manage to get a lot of testing done moving into our bright little future, which looks like it's only a few weeks away now. As you know, I've been interstate, basically been very hands-on with our automation. It's coming, it's nearly ready, really excited by that. So yeah, that's pretty much what I've been up to, but yeah, I've got a few interesting things to chat about actually this week, and one that you're pretty familiar with, which is expectations.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a big one. After we were talking there about some of the emails you were getting, I nearly think it needs to be touched on. It's kind of like we watch YouTube videos and we twist off, no, that's not how it works, or that's not what we found. I think there's going to be a lot of that involved with this one, but I think it's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
Really. Like, not every gun is going to shoot one-hole groups with every bullet without load development.
Yeah, and serious
load development for that matter.
Yeah, serious load development.
I think that's where we need to touch on.
Yeah, like there's a lot of guys with factory rifles who'll put, and we've touched on this before, a factory brand of ammunition in, they'll go shoot it, it'll be terrible, and they'll just turn around and say, well, that ammo's crap. But if they'd actually just had that hand press at the range and messed with their seating depth, they could probably bring that into a really tidy group. Reloaders obviously would know this, who reload a lot, how important seating depth is to get a gun to really shine. But even then, sometimes you're unlucky, right? But realistically, if you asked yourself, especially with all these manufacturers saying that they have a sub-MOA guarantee, what they don't say, though, is you have to go through pretty much every brand of factory ammunition before you can send it back and say it doesn't shoot sub-MOA.
Or they test it with a particular brand, which may or may not be available in your country, state, or whatever, which is another thing. Most guns these days are pretty good. But the thing I think about is, what is sub-MOA? That's basically an inch at 100, isn't it? 100 yards.
Yep. Inch
so just shy of 100 metres is an inch. Now, people want one-hole groups. That's a little bit more than sub-MOA. It's still sub-MOA, but that's getting like big, expensive, hard competition guns. They're happy at .2s, except for bench rest. Like they're not happy if it makes more than one hole in the page, but they have put a hell of a lot into every single aspect of that piece of kit. From the brass to the bullet to the powder, to the ignition timing, the way the firing pin drops, the way the trigger releases the pin. Like, they have put work into every single part of that to achieve that. My big thing is, what is realistic accuracy?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you've got a run-of-the-mill gun and it shoots under an inch, man,
take it.
Take it. You do
I
it
would.
great. Yeah.
Yep.
If you can get it to shoot a touch smaller consistently, which I've done it on guns that are 50 years old. We've done it on guns that are 2 weeks old. But then we've also had guns that are brand new that just don't seem to jive.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Had
a real
that with a
touchy
Ruger
one.
once. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just nothing. Sent it back and they gave us a new one, but yeah, sometimes you get unlucky.
Yeah. Realistic accuracy, I think, is where it's all about. Now, the blokes that are shooting, okay, I'll set it right off from the start.
Okay, let's go. Let's offend someone.
I heard a really good thing the other day. It's a monkey and a typewriter.
Okay.
Now, you give a monkey a typewriter.
Yep.
At some point in their random gibbering of the smashing the keys, they are going to print a legible word.
Mm-hmm.
It's just luck.
Yep.
You can get a new gun and just your first 3 shots are this tiny little group. You can get lucky, but does that sort of make sense? Like, through the law of averages, you will shoot a small group, but it's being able to repeat is.
And that's where money, effort, time, proper testing comes into it, right? Like your scientific method, basically. Yeah.
Well, you and I both have a pretty much opposite ends of the park approach to load development.
Yeah.
But we both get to where we're going.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's very rarely that you shoot your best group first.
Yeah, 100%. And in fact, there's been times where I've shot groups and thought immediately, oh, this thing will be crap. And then but continued through the process and realized actually I was just really unlucky at the very start. And, I was saying, we were talking earlier, I got like all of these targets and there's heaps of them here from testing at the moment. There's some there I probably would have walked away from had I not just continued through the motions, Yeah. But
you got to do it.
But yeah, so what do you think? So do you think sub MOA as a realistic expectation for an average Joe Blow shooter who maybe goes to the range 2-3 times a year, is that actually harder to shoot, let's say, a 1/2 inch to 0.67 inch group than people think it is? Because I'd argue yes. Like I'd argue I've got to work for a 1/2 inch.
For sure. It depends on so much stuff. Are they shooting factory ammunition? Not all factory ammo is created equally.
That's true.
We know. The minute you get a chronograph, you understand that.
Yep.
Because you can have 200 feet per second difference in your shot from shot to shot. That's extreme, obviously.
Yeah, I think the worst I found was 87 on 223 factory, 87 feet per second. That was huge.
Yeah. Well, what was it that I don't want to put brands under the bus, but it was a very common one over here that people use.
Yeah.
Something Outback,
something about the Outback.
Yeah. But that's generally a good ammunition.
Yeah.
On that day in that gun, those extreme spreads were extreme.
Yeah.
Now, that was just shot to shot in a match. If you didn't have a chronograph, you wouldn't have known. He's like, oh, I'm just having a bad day. Like that shot, I threw that. You look back through the chronograph data and it's like, man, you didn't bum that shot at all. That came in the box like that.
Yeah. That happened 6 months before it was even packaged, probably, whatever that error was.
That throws your group out, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
So there's so much that goes into it. Like, if you're not hand loading, you can get lucky with some ammo. Like I've got that Hornady 147 for the Creedmoor. Now, that'll throw a 1.2 inch group, then it'll throw a 0.6 inch group.
Yeah.
But you keep shooting down the page, they all float around in and out. So you've got to get lucky to pull those 3 particular cartridges out in a row, which, you just grab them out of the box as they come, don't you?
Yeah.
But it's not a perfect storm every time.
No, and even with hand loading, you impart probably, unless you're very careful, like some error into that equation, stacked error.
Yep.
Is something that I've done and just made my life a whole lot worse, but I just still shoot it. But I think one thing that we should touch on too, in regards to what your realistic expectations is wind. And
Yeah.
yeah, and even at 100. So for perspective, I've gone out. I've gone shopping at your favorite store, Gary.
Oh,
Oop,
I've lost you.
oop, there you
Oh, we're
go.
back. We're back.
Yep, I've been shopping at your favorite shop, Gary.
We got Timo.
Yeah, the old Timu. There are some people who will almost throw an egg at you for saying that you've been shopping on Timu, but I bought some wind flags. Little mini wind flags. They have little things and they spin, so they should be able to go either direction. And I've got my phone here, okay? So I'm gonna break this out. Now, walking pace of a human being is about 5 kilometers an hour, so that's pretty slow. So if I put in 5k an hour of a left to right crosswind with my 69 grain, doing 3,000 feet per second at 100 yards, we're looking at 0.3 of an inch of wind deflection, right? Now, at the moment, today, right now as we do this at Belmont, it is a standard 11 kilometer an hour wind. And let's assume left to right, because I didn't look up if it's a southeasterly or whatever.
That's just easiest to work on.
Yeah, that is I didn't bring my glasses. Looks like 0.6. I can't even zoom in. I can't see it properly. 0.6 of an inch of just wind deviation. It also says it's gusting to 23. So let's say you pull the trigger at a bad moment. That's 1.3 inches. And it only happens like that, right? So if you're shooting for groups and there's any wind around at all, if you're really trying to shoot that hole in hole group in anything more than a 5 kilometer an hour wind, your standard error from wind is going to be 0.3 to 1.3 inches at 100 yards.
Yeah.
And I just want that to sink in, right, to those people that, yeah, wind, even at 100, matters. It might not be you, the bullet, the load. But if those flags are not all doing exactly the same thing every single time you pull that trigger, you've got error in that group, man.
Plus the stacked error of what your gun actually can shoot.
Bingo. Yeah.
Stacked. Tolerant stacking, but in the other side of it.
Yep. 100%. I've been doing a lot of looking into this and aerodynamic jump and stuff, and and bullets, if there's a left to right crosswind, if it's a right twist, will tend to drop a little bit more. And watching the shooters at these big matches actually compensate for that is just a wonderful thing to experience, to watch their skill and knowledge when it comes to this stuff. And it probably doesn't make a huge difference, your aerodynamic jump at 100, but your wind left to right certainly does, like without a doubt. So what are your expectations? Can you guarantee that every time you pull that trigger, that wind was either dead still or doing the same thing every time? Something to think about.
Yeah, something to think about. It's people's expectations and what they can actually personally do as well. Nobody's perfect.
No.
Nobody's perfect.
Nope.
So your actual expectations, everyone, I want to shoot one hole groups every time I go out. Doesn't happen. Most of the time it's not the wind, it's me. But yeah, it's just this with the emails that you were getting, people saying blah, situation X and why didn't this happen? Well, it's not always going to be the bullet.
No, and we used to, do you remember we used to I don't want to say poop can, but let's just say poop can. Some of the Hornady podcasts where they talk about, oh, shooting an inch to 1.2, I would compete with that any day in like F class and all this. And we were like, yeah, that's just because their factory ammo's garbage and whatnot. But when you actually look at it from a data acquisition standpoint and the variables that go into something as simple as wind, yeah, man, it's going to push a bullet like a significant distance, even at 100. And
Yeah.
I've started to open my eyes to that horizon where, unless your gun is encased in a 500 kilo concrete block in a wind tunnel with, or in a vacuum that you can shoot in,
Yeah.
you can't really go, oh, this is definitely a quarter-minute gun every day, unless you're in perfect conditions every single time.
Perfect conditions
Yeah,
changes everything.
that's it.
Perfect conditions, it comes back to your reloading and your barrel.
Yep. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's pretty, like, oh, hang on. I think I've lost you.
I can hear you.
Oh, there you go. No, I got you back now. Yeah, weird, hey. Our internet's still been a bit poop up
All
here.
the rain.
Yeah.
God bless the NBN. Good work,
Yeah.
Australian. Put us 20 years behind everyone else and then
Uh,
claim.
something that was going to cost 3 billion is now what, 30 billion and still sucks.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, anyway, let's try to not get political around politics time.
Yeah.
Uh, gee whiz. Anyway, yeah, so
Accuracy. There's more
yep.
to it than what people think. Load
Yeah.
development's a big thing. If you're hand loading with a bullet, then it takes time. You
Mm,
can get lucky, but
yeah.
you got to be realistic. It takes time.
Yeah, look, and I can honestly say my hunting guns, like if I'm shooting half inch, like I'm thrilled. I'll go shoot a pig at 250 meters with a gun that shoots half inch every day because
Yeah.
I guarantee myself that a little bit of wind in the paddocks at night or whatever are going to be far more
Hmm.
concerning than the fact that gunshot half. Like I'm thrilled with that if it repeatedly does it. And like my 22 GT in that video, there were multiple groups in there that are sub half inch in multiple different loads and seating depths and stuff like that. So there's nothing wrong with the setup and the design and the rifle and the bullet, but what matters is if I did that test on a day with 20-kilometer moving and gusting winds coming over berms and stuff, what would my results have been? Don't know.
Completely different.
Yeah. Yep. So no, it's good to hash that out a bit. I think like I mean I do get a lot of emails, oh look, I'm struggling to get them under half an inch, and I'm like, if I could shoot consecutively half an inch, I'd be at an F class match tomorrow. Like
Yeah.
they're like, oh, I just can't get it under half an inch. I'm like, well, is that a
Different
problem?
barrels with different bullets. That
Yeah.
some of the very first groups we shot, when Marin and I first got our first centerfires, we both got identical guns. Serial numbers are not very far apart.
Mm.
I bought some cheap as chips PPU 55s.
Yep.
Marin bought, she got a bit of a deal on some Remington Corlock 55s. Now, it didn't matter who was shooting which gun, the PPU didn't perform particularly well in either one.
Okay.
But the Corlocks in Marins, then they literally shot clover leaves. Now, Corlocks are some of the bottom end ammo,
Mm.
really, that
Mm.
bulk stuff.
Mm.
And it shot really well. Put it in my gun, it didn't matter if she shot it or I shot it, you're flat out getting 0.7 of an inch.
Yep.
Like, there's so much that goes into it. Now, to look at those two firearms, identical.
Yeah.
Like, if you, the only thing you can tell them apart on is the serial number.
Mm.
Like, they look identical. They had the same scopes, same everything. The two guns just shoot different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Batch of steel in the barrel. Who knows? Like,
Yeah, and if you want to shoot like high-end bench rest, man, like be ultra competitive, like single hole groups and stuff, A, it's going to cost you. You don't do it out of a factory rifle for a start. You
No.
might pull it off once in your life, and it's a fluke. Like statistically, from anyway, all the number crunching we've done, that is a fluke.
Yeah.
Um, but not only that, like we don't make a bench rest bullet. You know, we've got a good F class slash hunting target bullet that's, you know, designed for best of both worlds. Okay.
Mm.
Bench rest specifically requires some pretty specific stuff, and we'll attack that at another time. But yeah, it's being bench rest accurate. Like I'm thinking sub point ones, but every time, right? Like, but even then, if
How many
somebody
days?
was,
Yeah, yeah, what are you saying?
I was just gonna say, but even sub point ones, if it was every single match, I think you should be on the world stage somewhere. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
and they go through 5 barrels to find a good one.
Yeah.
Like, when was the last time you spoke to someone that was trying to tune one of your bullets and you said, man, try a different barrel? Like,
Mm,
you
hasn't happened
don't.
yet.
No. No.
No, it's funny. Like, I mean, again, I'm going to break these out, but I got like a whole crap ton of those rimfire targets in, and there's like 25, 30, 35 targets on each one. And I went through all these different bullets, all these different geometries, all these different anneal states. And this is just like over the last 4 days. And you're hard pressed not finding. Oh, there was a couple in there that were like super crap, but hey, I do a lot of learnings while I'm down there. But in all of those projectiles, getting them to a three-shot group, to about half an inch. You know, there's one or two there that are a bit smaller, but they all do it. They all get to about that. And if I could shoot half inch, like I don't expect it. I expect there's a lot of groups there that are in the point .7s, point .8s. Um, I would hunt with that any day.
I don't see any drama with point .7 or point .8
Yeah.
at all. As
Yep.
long as you're under an inch, gee, it depends where you're hunting. Just over an inch isn't really going to phase you for hunting, realistically.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, most pigs I engage sub 100, to be honest.
yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah, so, and most, well, even dogs, sub 100. It's very rare that I'll shoot something out over that, but it happens. And if it does, I normally hit it. So just ask the ones with the chronograph we were talking about.
Yeah, that's it. That's what we say. Difference between cartridges. When was the last time the pig could tell the difference between 29 and 3100?
Yeah, especially with like a 140 or something.
Yeah, they
Mm,
can't tell. Realistic hunting distances, realistic expectations.
yeah. I don't know, like there might be viewers out there that expect sub point twos, but I would argue that most of them could honestly say that they've spent a lot on their get-ups and their front rests and their rear
Oh, front
bags
rest,
and
back rest, like
yeah.
just the entire system.
Mm,
Just to shoot consistently tight like that,
mm.
you spend a lot of time. You're quite clearly not probably using factory ammunition. You're hand loading. You've got all or a lot of the gadgets, and
Yep.
you're using them all, and it shows. Like good, if man,
Yeah.
I wish, yeah, it's great. But average Joe that just watches YouTube and decides to, hey, I'm going to load some of these 50-year-old cases that I've got and then make a phone call ranting and raving to a bullet manufacturer that it's not shooting point twos. Like, man,
Oh,
you,
look,
you
I don't want people to
educate them
think that
much.
that's my interactions though. I actually haven't had a customer get cranky with me yet over the product. I've had questions, but I just wanted to put out there, like from an expectation standpoint, like if you're sub MOA and you're a amateur reloader, that's awesome.
Yeah, you're on the
Yeah, yeah.
path.
You're on the right track, you know, like then we talk about trimming and neck turning and tooth house shoulder bump and you know, how accurately are you throwing your powder? Is it a Lee or is it a Super Trickler or, you know, all of those things matter. What primers have you
Yeah.
tried, you know? Um, but yeah, like I don't want people to think that I've had, you know, people going, oh, your bullets only shoot point .8 and they're crap. Like, no, it hasn't happened. And I think if most people like, and I got to tell you, I shoot more now than I ever have, and I get disappointed walking away with a .7, .8 if that's the best that bullet can do, and I usually
Mm.
shelve it. Um, and that's even me, but this is out of a factory Howler as well. So my factory
Mm.
Howler test gun is just in a cheap Boyd stock now and has a Nico Sterling scope on it. It's all factory stuff. There's nothing.
Affordable to the average man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you buy a Howler barreled action 223 and you just put a stock on it, go to the range and shoot it. And that's how I do my testing. And I'm yet to find any of our production bullets that won't shoot half an inch. So out of that
No.
A twist, yeah, it will absolutely. But um, again, it's the work you put into it, and I try not to do too much with the brass either. But yeah, I do not have the expectation that I'm going to shoot one hole groups. But yeah, I still get disappointed, man. Like a .7 or
Mm.
.8, like
.7 factory gun, man. Like that's still killing it unless you're doing some pretty fancy stuff behind the scenes.
yeah, yeah, that's true. And I'm running PPU brass at the moment too. It's just
Yep.
It was cheap. I had a lot of
Yeah.
testing to do. I didn't want to worry. I felt if I could do a really good job with that, it would do even better job with.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Have you ever had a gun that just didn't shoot? Have you ever owned something you just couldn't
I
make
thought
work?
I had one for a while there recently.
My bad.
I thought I had
Sorry,
one
man.
that doesn't shoot.
Yeah.
That's not a rimfire. No,
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think
I've started with some pretty like
oh,
not
the
to be
Ruger actually,
spam
I
and
had that.
everything,
Yeah.
but some crap like just starting out. Load development from scratch, and you shoot and you're like, oh no.
Mm.
But you build the powder charge up. Oh yeah, hang on a minute, then change your seating depth. Here we go. Then we've got a shooter.
Mm.
It took time.
Yeah. Actually, oh, you remember that the 6.5 WSM? I chatted to you this once before. It was the primers. Oh, I should mention this. This is
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, this will
Yeah,
start you on a good one.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. So the 6.5 WSM, when I first did load development, I couldn't get it to shoot under an inch. It was 1.5 or worse. Like it was out of control.
Mhm.
But I was using standard large rifle primers. And all I did, starting the same load, is put in a Magnum primer because we're talking like near 60. I'm not going to tell you the load because it's a Wildcat,
Mm.
but let's say around 60 grains of #09 with a 130 or at the time it was a 130. And just changing primers brought it into like a sub MO, half, about a half a MOA gun. 3 shots, 5 shots. I think my best 5 shotter was about .5, .6 of an inch. But that thing also kicks, and it's in a
Yeah.
standard timber stock, like a Mark V Weatherby stock and stuff. It was beautiful. But that's all that it took. And as you know, in our last battery of testing, in the 223, I tried to run CCI 450s,
Yes.
and it was crap. It
Hmm.
was terrible. I was over an inch in pretty much this stuff that was shooting half-inch prior to that, and I couldn't rein it in. And this is with 06H. I couldn't rein it in. Same projectile, same powder load, similar seating depths, didn't matter. So what's going on there? I don't know. But primers
It's one of
matter.
those things. Primers matter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the right primer. Now, I wonder if you had a started just time and effort impairs this sort of stuff, but
Mm.
Magnum primer and start right from the bottom of the powder charge up
Yeah.
and see if it did settle. I'd be curious about that.
Yeah. I could do
But,
it again when I get some time. I could just
yeah, but that's the thing.
like I've got
If
a
you
great
don't,
load using Winchesters and
yeah, if you don't need to do it again, you've already got a load that works.
mm,
If there was only like 450s left on the face of the earth, then you'd start from scratch.
yeah.
See if you could make it work.
Mm, yeah. Oh yeah, I'm probably not going to be able to invest the time in that at the moment.
No, no.
And the other thing I like about Winchester small rifle, is, from what I understand, and this could be wrong, but they fail pretty much right on 55,000 psi. So
Mm.
this is just what I can't remember where I read it, but it wasn't that long ago. But it's a really good indicator because your primers may not be flat, but if you're popping a hole in it, they tend to fail right on 55,000. I don't know if it's true. If somebody out there can confirm that, that makes it an awesome primer to, do load development on without potentially overpressurizing your cartridge,
Mm.
especially in the 223 because, and this is something that came up on Facebook a few times. The powder load for 06H in the ADI manual at the moment is extreme. At 26 grains, I think it goes to for a 69. That is enormous. Yeah, I do not recommend. I recommend coming back and having your max at 25 as absolute max, based on primer failures and the results we've had. I've thought that for a while. I'm just going to put it out there that I genuinely believe the ADI online manual at 26 with 06H and a 69 is ridiculous. Yeah, so let's just say I
Start low
wouldn't.
and work your way up.
Yeah, don't trust the book just because the book says so, that a max slot charge, because I would blow every single primer in that I would feed 26 grains in. I can tell you that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, your gun may vary, but mine's a Howard. It's got a stupid long throat. My bullet is stepped way out there and it's still blowing those primers. So, yeah, bring that stuff back. But anyway,
Roger.
cool story, bro.
Yeah. More dragons. Needs more dragons.
Needs more dragons.
What do you want to touch on next?
Well, I think, look, just because I actually had a phone call from a customer this morning saying, "Oh, you've been really quiet lately." Well, yes, because I'm really busy. Like we're setting up the shop and the wiring and the airlines and like all of this stuff that we're going to need. It's going to be a really busy couple of weeks. All the orders are still going to go out, but this marks a transition from, little Jimbo's small business to, national business coming now. So I'm just really busy and trying to keep it all together, to be honest, up here and in here and stuff. But yeah, look, it's good. What was I going to say? Oh, cartridge of the week.
Cartridge of the week.
Let's go.
You go first. What's your cartridge of the week, Jimbo?
Oh, look, I struggled with this one. I did. But again, Facebook comment talking about the 6.5 and 606. I still have a love affair with my 606. So for those who
I've
want
never shot one.
those, well, mine, look, I will confess it had a 14-inch barrel on it. 14 twist barrel on it. I used to run around with an ATN night scope shooting dogs, and it shot a 65 grain VMAX at 4,300 feet per second, and you could knock things over. Yeah, at 500 meters, it was doable because I did it. In fact, you might see some kitty cat videos floating around Facebook still of shots at stupid ranges with it, but yeah, and this goes into Overbore, but I might have a quick chat about Overbore and how I feel about that comment.
Overboard or Overbore?
Overbore, and just wait. I can hear them firing up. I can hear them getting ready.
Man, all those big fast ones sound fun. I'm just too tight for any of them, man.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it again. Just because I don't have the money on the powder, but holy crap, dude. That thing was like 450 meters, just pop. Ding.
Yeah, well, 4,300 feet per second. The bullet's nearly there before you thought about pulling the trigger.
Yeah, it was stupid and stupid awesome. But anyway, we'll talk about barrel life and Overbore in a minute. But yeah, look, if you guys are ever interested, like there's a 6284 is very similar. I just used 2506 brass because it was cheap. compared to 284 Win Brass. Like, very similar performance, very easily. But yeah, so that was my cartridge of the week. Something different. You know me, I love my Wildcats.
Yeah, you
So
love your bit of a speed freak.
yeah, not so much anymore. It got expensive.
Yeah, yeah.
All
Well,
right, go.
my cartridge of the week, the complete opposite end of the scale.
Oh, goodness.
Completely. My
40,
fluke. We didn't organise this
4570.
actually. No, 460. No, 22 long rifle.
Okay, cool. It had to happen.
Yeah. How can you not love a 22 long rifle?
Oh, awesome.
I just love them. Mind you, I don't shoot rimfire bench rest. I don't shoot any rimfire competitions. The only rimfire competition that we remotely get close to is Marin Category D handgun.
Oh, yeah.
She shoots rimfire in that. It's good, cheap fun. But 22 long rifle, man, what can't it do?
She's got a little lever Henry or something, doesn't she?
Yeah, she's got the Henry lever. You know,
Yeah,
the
that thing's cool. I really like it.
It's fun, but the 22 long rifle, whereas again, very, very fun.
Yeah, and cheap.
The first rifle she actually bought was one of those really cheap packages at Sterling M14P.
Hang on a second. I gotta just deal with this. Yeah. 1 second. All right, so this literally just came up across my Facebook feed in Aussie Reloaders. There's a gentleman with Hornady 223 60 grain ammo. It's factory ammo. And he's got a bunch of busted firing pins, primers from the firing pin, and he's asking if they're loaded hot, and all of the first questions that came out, is it a Hauer?
Really?
Yeah, almost everybody. Yeah, no, it's a Remington. Otherwise, I was like, oh yeah, there it is. But yeah, look, unless you check your headspace or check if your bullet's in jam for whatever reason.
What actually happened? Say it again.
Oh, the primers have got little holes punched through them. The primers are failing. Yeah. Hornady Tap 60 grain might be.
They were great.
Yeah, look, they might be a little bit long for his chamber, being a tap, potentially.
Yeah, I don't know.
Don't know. Yeah, interesting.
I wonder if the box says 223 or 556. Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, I can't see.
If it was a Hauer, I'd say it'd make no difference at all.
Yeah. But I can't actually see the ammo type. I think it's got 223 written on it. I can't. Again,
and
classes.
Remington?
Yeah, apparently. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I have to wait and see.
Yeah, more information required.
Yeah. Anyway, we were talking about your 22 LR and your wife's Henry and stuff.
The little Sterling, her first rimfire that she bought. The Sterling M14P. Well, we picked that up at Shooter's Delight. We were just down there one day and she looked at it and she's like, I want that one. I'm like, okay. You know, like looking at Sterling, they're not the world's best piece of equipment, you know, but if you're happy, you're happy.
Was it hang on, Sterling, man. Was that Australian?
No, Arms Corp, Philippines.
Philippines, yeah, right.
Philippines.
Okay.
It's and we just bought this dirty, cheap Arms Corp ammo. We bought a box of 500 of them, and it was her for fun to just get trigger time. Man, that thing's one of the most accurate little 22s I've ever used. It's just always just on point.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, like we have the about 20-cent coin size little targets you put out there, and you can just drill that at 100 shot after shot after
Seriously?
shot.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I was, because the first time we had it was out at Warwick up on the sight-in range, and yeah, the little ram, you know, the metallic silhouette for 22 pistol.
Yeah,
we had the little ram out there on a swinger at 100 yards, and you just couldn't miss his head.
Yeah, like, wow.
I couldn't believe it. So that thing's got pride and place at the front of the safe.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, yeah,
understandably.
he's just a ripper.
Mm.
But Joe, actually, very good mate of mine, Joey, he got one as well. The exact same thing. He's got a weird resonance thing going on when he pulls the trigger. It gets like a little dong going on. It's
Really?
really weird when he shoots it because you just hear this little vibration.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, it don't affect how accurate it is.
Isn't
Like,
that interesting?
and they're one of the cheapest 22s you can buy. And I'm not going to say it's going to win a bloody professional match because
No, but
no,
still.
they're shooting in a completely different league.
Mm.
But
But
yeah,
that's a
man,
minute of bunny to feed yourself, without fail.
yeah, that's what we were using it for, chasing the rabbits. Like, dude, it was great,
Yeah,
absolutely
interesting.
great.
Yeah.
And this 22s in general, that the lever gun, it's fun, it's cheap. But what's a box of 500 CCI standards at Cleavers? It's between 60 and $70 for 500.
Mm.
Yeah, you
It's
can
cheap
just go
fun.
and have yourself an absolute blast.
Yeah. Yeah. I've still got the that Russian Toz. I think that's what, a 74 or something.
Yeah.
I found the magazine for it. It was missing for
Yeah,
about 3 years, and I knew it was here somewhere. It was actually in a mate's safe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, oh, hang on. One of the videos have just has just cracked on, so I'm just going to save it there. There it goes. Um, but yeah, like it's fun. It's not accurate like that though, man. It's maybe 75. You'd be shooting an inch group at 75 meters, but that's plenty. It's got a little 3 to 7 or 8 on it or something, like just a straight tube scope. It's nice and
yeah,
big and easy to see. But yeah, man, I love it. I take it a lot of places, probably not as much as I used to, but kids are getting older now, so they'll be shooting soon. And yeah, I'll start there because I can't get my Ruger 1022 anymore because it's a Cat C. I think, yeah, Cat
yeah.
C.
I'm actually in a very, very similar boat with the youngins getting old enough to start getting licenses and that now.
Yeah, he's not
It's,
far off, is he? He's this year or
no,
something.
not very far at all.
Yeah,
But I've
yeah.
got to talk him back down from 22 Magnum now. He kind of took a liking to that.
Oh, yeah.
So I said to him, mate, yeah, you like it and all, but you can start buying the ammo for it because bloody hell.
Yeah, it's become a bit silly, hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, the 22 long rifle's always going to have a little soft spot in my heart. I mean, a lot of bunnies fell to that, that bad boy.
I think a lot of bunnies will continue to fall to that.
Yeah.
I've just got a major leg cramp.
Oh, serious. Get into it.
Just up.
Where's your
God,
cramp, Gary?
the wheels fell off, man. Hit 40 and the wheels fell off.
Oh, dear. Oh,
That's all right.
man.
We're good to go again now.
We're good, we're good. I found my old casting, lead bullet casting. I've got a 308 and a 243 and a 223. I think some are NOE and whatnot, bullet molds. I used to shoot them with pistol powder and like
Yeah.
dust bunnies with a solid lead 308 slug. Like, when I say dust, I'm like, yeah, it hit them pretty hard. But yeah, there's kind of something to be said for that kind of low recoiling, like easy to shoot, cheap. Like lead's pretty cheap once you'd be casting it, but
Well, I don't know, when you go out to a bit of property where you can shoot, everyone gets out their big bangers and your shoulder gets sore pretty quick. And what's the next thing to come out?
no,
The
it's
bloody
all
22s.
22. Yeah, yeah.
And
No, good.
like, there's multiple stories you can tell about it, like blokes' wives and that, when I don't really want to shoot, and you take them to the range and I know we don't want to go home yet. I've got another box of 50.
Yeah, yeah.
They're into it, just on the Rimfire. They're
Yeah.
great.
Look, I should probably start doing some rimfire night shoots, but again, I'm just flat out like. But I do want to get back into it. Actually, one thing I should have said, and I can't believe this is the end of the video. 55s and 62s are going in here somewhere, right? We're just working on that with the guys that are doing the tooling at the moment for getting us started in production there. So those bullets are coming back as well. So there's a few kind of missing from this lineup, but they're coming. Yeah, I don't know. So we've covered wind, how important it is, even for shooting groups. What's it doing when you're pulling the trigger? And if you are now worried about it, how are you going to measure it at the range? Because I can tell you now those streamers suck because they just do this unless it's a
Talk,
steady, constant wind.
talking about Temu, I was actually been looking at some cheap handheld wind meters on Temu.
Oh, yeah. Like, do they Bluetooth to you?
I don't know. No. All completely handheld, digital screens,
Mm.
but they got the little spinny blade in them. I guarantee they're nowhere at the level of a Kestrel and stuff like that. But for a remote idea of what's going on, bloody hell, you pick one up for $20.
Yeah, I thought about one, and I was worried though that at the bench it would be very different to what's happening out at the mounds at the range, where I'm usually trying to sight in get my zeros and stuff and shoot for
Yeah,
groups.
just for an idea, then Paul, you'd take it for a walk out there with you when you check a target, just for data acquisition for your own self.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, it's probably not a bad idea. I might look into what options are available there, but my flags will be here soon. I bought 100, so you can have I'll give you a couple.
Check them out.
Yeah, but yeah. So anyway, that's about it really for me on my end. Like I'm just busy, building another small shed for storage, and so I got to get into that. That's coming this week, and yeah, so a bit on, but
Yeah, well, it's all coming together.
yeah, it is.
It's all coming together.
Yeah.
Let me have a look at my little book here that I wrote down some notes.
Mm.
Let me see if we covered my cartridge of the week, 22 long rifle, expected accuracy, load development, chronograph, and ways of load development. That's all I had, which we sort of basically, we covered that,
Well, yeah, I think we should do another video at another date, exploring things like ladders and OCW and all that sort of stuff and the way that we do it and why they're different. And yeah, and though even though we can have different points of view on it, we can still be mates. Which I think at a time like this, when especially and again bringing politics into it, you can disagree and still be mates. You don't have to slander the crap out of each other, Yeah, kindness goes a long way. Yeah, but anyway, look, that's it for me, man. I'm pretty much done. I got to get back to work out there, but unless there's any pressing matters,
No, I'll just put it out there into the world. We're waiting on barrels, and
what were we gonna say that everyone was gonna get upset about? What was that?
Group size, factory ammo.
No, it was like leading into it. I was like, did we cover it in the end? Everyone getting up. Oh dear, I'm gonna have to watch the video back. I'll bring it up next time.
Next time, yeah. Bring it up next time.
Yeah. What did I say? Oh yeah. This whole we'll explore this next time. This whole be 3 thou or 2 thou or 1 thou off the lands is your best seating depth myth. Just
Here's a disagreement straight up. Barrel dependent, bullet, barrel, powder, neck tension. It's what combination works for you.
I'm going to argue that it's a sine wave, and you will find multiple seating depths that work.
I believe that as well. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not going to get into specs of what we have done and haven't done.
No, it's because it's too much.
It's too much, but the original F-bomb that I first ever shot off you.
Yeah, like to be close.
It was, I had it fair right up in there. Like you could extract it if you had to. It shot great in there, but then it also shot great at factory length.
Yeah, I'm running like somewhere between 15 and 20 thou at the moment and getting just crazy good groups.
That's about where I'm sitting.
Yeah, like and because it's a wider node, like I find that it's just wider. Like I can be a little bit out either side, doesn't matter. Whereas there's a nice one right up close, but if I'm so close to touch that if I'm a little bit long for any reason or further back, it throws me out a bit. And that's when I get my little flyer that's half an inch or more out.
Mm-hmm.
We should explore that actually because people say that, oh, I got these two right next to each other and then one that's out. Why is that one out? Is it a flyer or have you done something? Let's explore that in the next video because that's huge. Because I've seen it hundreds of times now because I've had the benefit of doing this testing. I think I know some ideas to help troubleshoot that. We should do that next video.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, cool. Anyway, I better go, but yeah, I'll talk to
We'll
you
do it
probably
again.
tomorrow, to be honest.
Yeah, I dare say so.
Oh, all right, cool. I'll talk to you soon, Gary.
See you, bye.
See you, mate.